aha Ghanatube so I was in format na CD and not just saying some abudo bi ekoso ewo omanga ni moitem pano ye bobo rem ni awakotie ensem ni na say ye ba na ne ka ho no me dia to aso e dia mawo.
All right. I want to run through these issues very quickly because after this we are wrapping. I don't know, but the turnout in the election and the entire results in 2016 or so, there was a cartoon. I don't know whether you remember, with a bus and Mahama driving.
Yes,
and
yes.
People descending with Akufo-Addo and some. I just found that very interesting. It came to mind because it was almost prophetic. I don't know how whoever did that could have seen that this would happen, but that's just by the by. The Napo effect. Napo, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
Oh dear.
The Ashanti region was lost badly. What was his effect? I mean, you could just juxtapose that quickly with the effect of Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman in the central region. Very quick analysis for me.
I mean, from the onset, the polls were showing that Napo would be a problem for MPP. He was solid among the core base. But these are the base that will come out anyway to vote for you. So to find somebody who would attract the base, I think was really wrong tactical move. They should have gone for somebody who would attract others. And he did not bring anybody outside the MPP base.
Okay.
Even in Ashanti region, the floating in Ashanti region did not like Napo.
All right. Doc, those same bits to you, and it's a wrap. Dr. Osai Kwapon.
So on the Napo effect, when you go back to Afrobarometer round 9, 2022, voting intentions, if you see the percentage from Ashanti region that was saying would not vote, and then even with the global info analytic polls around the regional breakdowns in terms of potential voter apathy, especially in the Ashanti region, if you look at Professor Smart Sapong's baseline poll in June, when Napo was nominated to be vice president, my read at that point was that, okay, this is a good political move because if you see the warning signs from the Ashanti region, perhaps if the number 2 slot on the ticket comes from the region, it would be appeasing to them, that it would help energize the base. But in retrospect, it looks like it didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to pan out. As Musa Dankwa said, it had to be someone more than just who excites more than just the core of those who would have voted for him anyway. But I honestly thought it was going to help whatever initial signs of apathy was being seen in the Ashanti region. As to who emerges presidential candidate for the NDC, very interesting to see. One, it will be very interesting to see whether Prof is interested in running in 2028, and also what other candidates would emerge as being interested. And I think we'll just have to wait for
She's 72 now. In 2028, she'll be 76.
Fair point, but again, it doesn't preclude her from, that is if she is something she's interested in. So for me, we would have to wait for time to sort all of that out. Except that, because JDM only has 1 term, I'm sure it's something they would want to quickly, get a sense of, so there's enough time to begin to market that candidate. I mean, if they had 2 terms, you have a lot more time in the event that you are not able to retain your first term, or unseat an incumbent, then you still have time to market the candidate. But the dynamics is different now, so I'm sure it's something they would want to resolve quickly.
Please saying, and this is a very interesting point you make. You're saying that, I mean, the economic whiz kid, the economy did not go in his favor.
No.
He was supposed to deliver the northern vote. And to be fair to him, over time, the MPP has made serious gains in the northern belt of the country. Gains they were not making under Rawlings. Absolutely. Gains that maybe even under Kufuor they were not making. So you can give him that impact.
Prior to this election.
Prior to this election. But this election, it was
Complete disaster, yes. Complete disaster.
Upper West, Upper East, Northern, Savannah, everything was swept away. Apart from Northeast, which he won by narrowly. Narrowly. Then you look at the Muslim vote, and even there, he lost the Northern vote in a bigger form. I think 60% or so to Mahama, and he got 30-something percent, even than among Christians. So you say these three will work against the second coming of Dr. Bawumia?
I believe so. And also, the polls have shown consistently that he's not strong in the Akan areas where MPP needs to do well in any election. In fact, prior to the polls, he and JM was neck and neck in Akan regions put together. So you could see a bit of hesitation among the Akans. And to be very straight to our Akan people, look, that is a fact, but they won't say that in public. They were hesitant in embracing Bawumia. Would they change their mind next time he comes around? Only time will tell.
I see. I don't know what you think about this situation, Doc, because you can get the sense that the vice president feels, the vote really went against him, and it did, and against the MPP. Some say it may not necessarily have been so much against him as against the president, but some say it was against both of them. But what do you think? The vice president, a comeback, is it on the cards for you?
From what he said, just like you had mentioned, from what he said in his concession speech, it appears that he would give it some thought and probably try again. If I have already seen, probably these are some of his own supporters as well, but I saw one or two posts on Facebook where, the person was saying, 2028, we need to go with him again. He would have to look at the results a lot more closely, probe it by whether it's, how it played out across the regions, all of that. But then his own party supporters, right, and what their sentiments would be will be key. If they feel like this one was mainly a repudiation of the Nana Addo government's blueprint for governance and politics, which he suffered it, quote unquote, unfairly, then let the public sentiments simmer, cool down, and who knows, 2028 or thereafter, they would have cooled down enough that they would look at him a lot more dispassionately than they did under the current circumstance. That could make him say, yeah, well, let me give it a shot. Or it could also mean that, look, the defeat is too crushing. It is both a rejection of whatever the party said and whatever message you were offering.
Whatever may be associated with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia.
Exactly that. It would take a while to be able to extricate yourself. And that's one of the things that the NDC did very well in this campaign. You will notice that anytime they pointed out the issues and challenges under this government, they would always say the Nana Addo Bawumia government, the Nana Addo Bawumia government. So they found a way to link the two together. So it's too early to tell whether he can, one, what he would really do, and two, if he decides to throw his hat in the race again for 2028, that he would be able to make a comeback. It would also depend on who else runs, against him.
Right.
Nana Addo was given the chance 3 different times to be the party's flag bearer. But it may not necessarily mean that he would get those multiple opportunities as well. But I think time will tell.
Doc, what do you think? So do you think the MPP would give Dr. Bawumia another chance? Because Musa Dankwa has enumerated the bits about the economy, which was baggage for him, the northern vote, which he lost massively, then the Muslim vote, which again, he lost. All these metrics or these matrices, which people felt would work for him, turned against him. Do you think the MPP would give him another chance on the back of some of the infighting we saw, and which led to Alan Chemating's, moving out a second time from the MPP? Then, the whole bit about Kennedy Japan coming in and all of that. And how much of a comeback would also depend on the performance of the NDC?
All of that. So will they give him a second chance? They probably can. Again, depending on how they make sense of the 2024 election. Some of the sentiments you've already seen is, well, the NDC didn't win, we lost. So if that is their interpretation, then the calculus could be, how then do we get voters back to go and vote for us with Dr. Bawumia as the candidate? They could make that calculation and say, well, let's give him another chance. But on the back of some of the things that Musa Dankwa has also pointed out, they could look at the political landscape and say, this is not a landscape that the candidate can surmount and bring us victory. And so we would want to go in a different direction. Then they would have to look at other candidates as well. And you're right, it would also depend on the NDC's performance and the candidates that they pick. Because John Mahama only has one term, it makes the 2028 dynamics also very intriguing, right? Because we often hear this narrative about when a candidate is picked, they need time to market the candidate and get the country to know the person, etc., etc.
I was here for me now. As I said, we did mechi equity in some koso ewo omanga nemu we di me demu besi ana so beti meja comments no Emma me comment section da wodwi nsem ni nyina no fa comment ne ebra na mejibre akinkan ama wo fefefe me kai wo biom se channel we Ghanatube. So don't forget to subscribe, hit on the notification bell, share and like all our videos. I was here for snowy day sisi ade makramo.